Welcome back to another episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast. You see the bright lights behind us. We have them there because the U.S. Open just took place over the last 2.5 weeks, and it brought us a whole bunch of storylines, a whole bunch of records, a whole bunch of trophies lifted by the same people that seem to always win the tournaments and always end up the finals. I saw a hilarious thing. It was like breaking: Sinner and Alcaraz make it to U.S. Open final. Somebody quote tweeted, said they could have just put the whole tournament in an email. So we're going to get into Sinner versus Alcaraz. We're going to talk about the other two guys that were able to take sets off of Sinner because, yes, they were the Canadians. The Canadians arguably played the third best in the tournament, despite Felix made semis. Denis lost to Sinner in the third round, but we'll get into all of that. Eala, she had a great week, so we got to hit the Eala hour. We'll give you an update on the ATP Tour rankings, and then we'll talk about whatever else comes up along the way in this episode. So make sure you are subscribed and checking out all the other content on the channel. Steven, how was it? How was the viewing experience? What were you doing this week? Give me all the updates.
This week, a lot of tennis. Obviously, watching our boy Felix really make a run from the beginning part of the week till all the way through to the semis. So that was exciting. But yeah, just being steeped in the U.S. Open experience. And what else happened? Hanging out with my wife and my son and my dog. Just
on
home style living up in Canada.
Home style. We got to get y'all some chickens.
What? Get some chickens.
We need y'all some chickens. I feel like it would fit the aesthetic of the Boughton family.
Yeah, for sure. We eat chicken. Shepherd eats chicken like almost every day. Chicken,
protein,
avocado. Yeah,
ooh,
anything. He's a savage.
He's healthy.
And he's starting to, I guess the new thing this week is he's starting to have like emotions more. Like he's like almost one. He's pretty much 1 year old. So he'll just kind of like, if you put him down, he'll start to get more mad now or and he's a bit of a hitter. So he
oh yeah.
He's just, which I kind of love, but he's just like, Nicole doesn't like it, but I like it. And he's just like, I'll just be looking at you and whack. It's like right in the face.
He's throwing some words out there.
Oh yeah. He goes, his favorite word is, I see it being spelled D-A-H. Like da.
I was thinking his favorite word might be again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. He just pretty much puts an A on it, and you're like, yeah, man. He's JP's met my son Shepherd, so that's great.
We're boys. We go way back.
You guys go way back. You guys go like halfway back in his life at least.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, dude.
Yeah, man. Anyways, my week was good. How was your week?
Week was good. Also, we did a lot. Did a lot per usual in the fall. I was in Atlanta this past weekend again, and Atlanta's cool. I always forget how big of a city Atlanta is, and it bums me out because the Atlanta Open is no more on the tour.
Yeah, that's right.
And it feels like if the tournament was run properly, that it would be a big event in Atlanta. Like people would show up, but obviously scheduling is pretty much the number one issue because all the matches are being played midweek during work, and Atlanta's a tough place to get around. But I feel like there's opportunity there in the outside cities of Atlanta. But yeah, the week was good. I'm trying to think what else we had going on. It was just in the fall, I'm just buried in my computer a lot editing. So
yeah,
I enter my trance, my days.
Hibernation mode.
Yeah, but I was watching the final. But before we get to the final, I was not able to watch Eala this week. But she turned it up. And if I'm not mistaken, she lifted a trophy this week in Mexico.
That's right. She won the Guadalajara 125 Open in Mexico. She was the number 2 seed and made good on it. So she beat Hartono. A bunch of players, to be honest, that I don't think I've heard of any of them. Maybe
right.
Day, or Kayla Day. She was 342 in the world. But the WTA 125 is essentially a challenger tour event, but on the WTA side, it's just called a 125. But still great. These are the types of things you need to do to get your confidence up. She won one match at the U.S. Open and lost to Buxa. That's great. I love seeing her drop down to Mexico. I think we said this at the beginning of the week, and then she went on to win 5 matches and win the tournament. So it should be 118 ranked player Pana Udvardi in the final. There's just no negatives to that at all. Like going and winning hard court, getting that winning muscle memory. I love it.
Dude, and it is her first WTA title.
Yeah.
Which is huge and which also makes her breaking more history. First Filipino woman to win a WTA title.
Yeah.
So shout out to Alex Eala.
Yeah,
It seems
and her
like it's trending in the direction we're going to be having a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we love that.
For the back half of the year.
Yeah, we love that. We got her ranking is now 61 in the world, which I think is her high. No, her career high is 56. But I think it had dropped a little bit. But yeah.
Dude,
Eala, box office, Philippines. Let us know what you think. Filipinos love a title. They like the hardware.
Yeah,
like that cash. So Alex Eala, first title. Winning is like, yeah, you got to like remember how to win. Like, winning 5 matches in a row is going to help her when she goes and plays her next tournament, which I don't know where that will be.
Right.
Kind of like forget where the tours go after this. I think kind of like the Labor Cup is next for the men.
Yeah. Which there was some crazy dropouts, like Opelka and maybe Nakashima are now playing in it or something.
Love it.
What how's this happening?
Well, the Labor Cup is an exhibition. It technically might not be an exhibition because it's like recorded in the ATP
right
matches, kind of, which is controversial to say the least. But I personally love the Labor Cup format. I love what it stands for. I love that like the players should get psyched up for it.
Right.
But it would be better if you had all the best players. Like clearly the players don't treat it like the Ryder Cup in golf. Yeah.
Right.
The Ryder Cup, like everyone would be so honored to play, and it's not like that for the Labor Cup yet.
And it's kind of a bummer because I feel like when Federer and Nadal were playing, it was like that. Like it was all of the best players.
Oh yeah,
being Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and then all the best players that have been trying to beat them all year on tour.
Yeah,
I feel like we had all the top talent, and now when I see initially like I was okay with the 2 teams that were picked, and then as people dropped out, it just lost so much firepower.
Yeah, it's that is, man. I'm trying to look at the teams here. We got Team Europe is, I would say, pretty stacked. Like Alcaraz, Runa, Ruud, Mensik, Kaboli. Like that's a fire team in my opinion. Like that, I could get so hyped up for that. And then who's Team World? Fritz, Tiafoe, Cerundolo, Mickelson, Fonseca, Opelka. Yeah, I mean the Opelka Mickelson, I get it. It's Mickelson's from the West Coast. Like Opelka's American. Like
right.
It'll be okay. I think if I was not traveling, I probably would have gone down to it because it's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But the Labor Cup's also never given us a credential, and it's been pretty awkward. Like there was one in Vancouver, and I like literally showed up to the event. I was like, "Hey, can I cover this?" They're like, "No, like we can't give you a credential. We'll give you a virtual one." So they haven't been great with engaging, obviously, like the local media to help fill the seats, which they're never full. Yeah. And so I don't know, a bit of a weird organization, I would say, but I think Fonseca being there is cool. People were like complaining about that, I think, but it's not about pure ranking. It's about putting butts in seats, and he's a star in the making. He's also represented by Tony Godsick, who owns and operates Labor Cup. So it's like
he'll be in Labor Cup whatever year he wants to be in Labor Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 guys that are Labor Cup veterans and are always fun to watch play at the Labor Cup, Denis and Felix.
Yes.
They put on some great performances at the U.S. Open. I guess we could maybe we'll touch on Denis a little bit, or we can touch on them at the same time. But I know we got to dive into Felix's match because semifinals, boom.
I believe in Canadian tennis.
This
is the Canada House Minute.
Canada House Minute. Where do you want to start with them?
I just want your opinion, JP. I want to hear your thoughts on if it was a coincidence that we throw Canada House at the beginning of New York of the U.S. Open. I fly down there, we throw the party, great turnout, great event, great support for Canadians. Felix tweets us out
Right.
Dennis says, "Hey, I'm busy, but I would love to come next time." And then they both have great runs. Like Felix makes the semifinals out of literally nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm just
And I
wondering
think
if you think it's a coincidence.
it starts even earlier than that. It starts from when we had them both on preseason
That's right.
because it sets the tone. And they both obviously they've had up and down years, but they've both won tournaments.
That's true.
And that's it's hard to win a tournament, especially for that. Like, I don't forget how many total titles Felix has, but this year lifting up multiple trophies is definitely a win and a positive for Felix and Dennis.
Yeah.
Now they have Felix has an amazing. He's back in the semifinals at the U.S. Open.
Mhm.
We're seeing the best versions of themselves, and you gotta go back to day one. So there are no coincidences.
That's right. Felix is number 13 in the world now.
Let's go.
Crazy. Dennis is up to 26. So yeah, Canadian corner. How are you? I was just so stoked to see Felix get that deep in a tournament. I talked about it on the show at length, but to recap, he was essentially playing a brand of tennis that he hasn't really been able to consistently play for the last 3 years.
Right.
Which is being, ultra aggressive, going for it. And that sounds like cliche. But you have to go for it, and you have to take it to your opponent at the top level of the game. And by the top level of the game, I mean like the top 10. And a player like Felix, like I was saying to you right before the show, JP, like his natural, I think he's a bit of a perfectionist. Like if
Definitely.
you met him or you around him, he likes to have things like he's pretty like, he's not a serious guy. He's like jokes around, but like when he takes his business very seriously, and he likes to have things right. But that can kind of get in the way of him playing on the line of being aggressive, which I think you need to be at the top, because Sinner, Alcaraz, they all do that. You could see it in yesterday's final. There was no space for sitting back. You would just lose. And that's when you sit back, Felix could still win a lot of matches, but he could also lose to essentially anyone, which has been the case for the last few years. But in this tournament, he let that forehand go. He let the big dog eat, and I know he was pushed by his team to do that, and it was awesome to see, because his forehand was destructive. Like it was hurting everyone. It was hurting like Sinner, which was, like you saw that.
Yeah, and I mean and pre-match when Sinner played Dennis and when he played Felix, it's like the first thing out of McEnroe's mouth, whoever's commentating the mouth, the first thing out of their mouths is Denis Shapovalov is one of the few players that can actually hit with Sinner and can put him under pressure. Felix is one of the few players that can actually hit and put him under pressure. Now let's see if they actually do it. And they both actually did it. And Felix was playing how everybody, I feel like in 2019 or 2021 was expecting Felix to be for the last 5 years. And you could, like you're saying, I feel like it was even after the match, it felt like a weight off of Felix's shoulders. He just seemed lighter, like he seemed to be enjoying himself in the big match, which I feel like maybe you wouldn't find in some of his other big matches where he's playing tough points, he's smiling after, like just embracing the battle of the match, which I feel like is a key step in almost any player that's trying to break into the top 10 and stay there, is embracing the big battle moments, win or lose on the point, and showing up the very next one and letting it rip. And you got to believe for both of them going forward. I've kind of always thought this about Dennis, because he has the attitude of like he knows that he can hit big. And I think he truly believes going into every match that if he's on, he's going to beat the person across from him.
Yeah.
And Felix, I don't know if he has that as much, but it's like all it takes is a match like this to kind of flip that switch of, oh wait, there's a reason that I was one of the most highly anticipated young players on tour. Like there's a reason my ceiling was put so high. And like, I think he's hopefully this is a moment where he has arrived.
Yeah, well put. Like Felix in his post after the tournament said, reconnecting with the belief that's always been there.
Right.
Like, I think we talked about it on the last podcast when he beat Zverev. He's kind of like saying, he was almost expressing the frustration of the last couple of years, I think, through that celebration, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like I can play like that, and my ceiling actually hasn't changed. Like I just have to he's figuring out how to get there and play like that. It's not always going to work like that. We're going to talk about that with Sinner. I think in some of his post-match press conferences, like you can't be too afraid of losing.
No,
Because I think when you do, like, you probably lose more when you're afraid of losing, right? Because you're
right.
avoiding that rather than just going for your shots and going for the win. And yeah, you said it perfectly. Like Denis, Felix, Alcaraz, Sinner, who else? Like there's like not that many guys who
Not
you
that
could,
many, dude.
yeah, like really, like there's like probably max 10 guys at the top of the game where you go, yeah, if they went for their game and they can take it to anybody, and
Right.
they can, if they're playing their best, beat almost anyone. Well, Sinner and Alcaraz are obviously there, and I really think like Denis and Felix can be both top 10 again, and that was
Really.
Dennis's goal by the end of the year, I think, or just in general.
Yeah.
And I think Felix is pretty much almost there, and he has not too many points to defend like next year. So at the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, he lost in the first or second round, both of
Right.
those. So he'll be, if he can make any type of good run there, he'll be back pretty close to the top 10 here.
Dude.
Yeah, so I'm just excited for our guys.
It would be awesome. And it was cool to see Felix serve just absolutely. He was serve botting in like the second set or
Yeah,
it serve when his serve was on, it was like, oh my God, the forehand with this serve
yeah, 20
and
aces. Yeah,
being this athletic, you're like, this guy, he's
yeah,
top
like,
five. Screw top 10.
yeah, exactly. Well, like Alcaraz had 10 aces yesterday, which is big for him because he's also
Yeah.
like 6 feet tall, and Felix is like 6'5". But it's like Denis is like also, he's only like 6'1", maybe. Like he's
Right.
not like super tall, but he has an amazing serve. But just think of like the forehand that Felix has is like as up there with a lot of people. And he's also 6'5" and can go serve botting, which is right halfway through that match is like he's serve botting right now. That's great.
Yeah. Dude, I
Yeah.
saw
So
a hilarious tweet. It was like, if we add one more Canadian, then we will officially have 3 sets off of Yannick Sinner. And then it was this photo of Milos Raonic, and he's just sitting there like,
yeah, he could serve bot his way to a set, I think.
yeah. But
Apparently
yeah,
he's
dude.
starting up his own hedge fund.
Yeah, he's
That's
busy.
what
He's
the
busy
street.
getting to the cheese.
Let's go straight to the cheese.
But no,
Love
man,
that.
it
Love
was
that.
it was good. It was. I wish that we could combine Felix and Denis into one player because
Yeah.
it's like if Denis had a little bit more of Felix's attitude and Felix had a little bit more of Denis's attitude mixed with both of their weapons. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2025. Anything's possible.
Yeah, true. We could start doing some mutations. Maybe Djokovic, maybe Sinner and Alcaraz and Djokovic wouldn't be the only players in every semifinal all year. But
Yeah. And on that note, it's now 8 majors, 2 full years in a row split between Alcaraz and Sinner.
which is history. That's never been done either. I think like of them playing in 8 straight finals.
Yeah. Well, they want to wait because Djokovic has been in a couple.
Right.
When's the last one Djokovic was in? Wimbledon, 20 last year. But wait, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, because Alcaraz beat him. We watched that one
he
live.
whooped him.
Um, but yeah, they are like, I don't think anyone would have expected at the end, quote unquote, of the big three era to have just 2 more guys dominate. It's like
I know.
it's almost like it's like corporate. It's like capitalism. There has to be someone dominating, and there can't be like the money's all going to go to the top. Like it's just
Right.
like in tennis now. It's like we can't have like a distributed winnings.
Dude, at all. And I mean, well, what did you have to make of the match? I feel like the first set when I was watching, I'm like, I don't think, I mean, I don't know where this Carlos Alcaraz came from, but whoever he is, he might never lose another set in his life. And then
Well,
just as tennis goes, the very next set, it's like, oh, first set doesn't
exactly.
matter.
Exactly. But Alcaraz, you're right, came out of the gate playing exactly the way he had to play. I think from the Wimbledon final, he was sick of getting bullied around on the baseline. So he was hitting his forehand cross court with the power and the pace and the bite that he needed to. And he was going after the center forehand, which is like got to be the scariest thing to do in the world. Can you imagine? Like, hey, here's my strategy. I'm going to hit it to the center forehand.
Right.
Except we're not Carlos Alcaraz. So he's hitting it with that. And he has a bit more ability to do it on the hard court. I think that kind of bite cross court where he's getting the outside of the ball. So it's spinning off the court a bit. And he was hitting that so well to start. And it almost like shocked Sinner maybe a bit. Just like, oh crap. And and he was serving great, and he was crushing Sinner's second serve returns. So that first set was essentially a perfect set from Alcaraz, and yeah, you're right. Sinner came back,
Right.
and then you're just thinking like, what type? The best thing about this matchup is you're like, what type of match are we gonna get? You're kind of hoping for that French Open final epic,
Right.
but now kind of that seems like really hard to replicate. Like you
I know.
realize how crazy that was.
I wish it never happened because now with this, you turn on the TV and you're like, oh, this is going to be 5-set epic match. Somebody's going to come back.
Yeah,
Even when Alcaraz wins the third set, you're like, oh, dang, Sinner is definitely about to win the fourth and we're getting 5. But like every single set was so lopsided. Either
yeah,
way, it's like the Sinner dominated the second set and then Alcaraz dominated the other two. But I know that French Open, they dangled something in front of our faces, and now we've just been swiping at it ever since.
yeah, yeah. No, this definitely was not an epic like that one. But I personally love watching them on the hard court because it's to me
So
like the
fun.
most neutral surface, and the biggest thing here, like for the narrative of their headline or their rivalry, was can Alcaraz beat Sinner on a hard court? And if you think about it, I think it's the first. When's the last time? I don't even have this up. When's the last time Sinner lost a match at a hard court major? Because he won Australia, he won the U.S. Open, he won Australia. So it would have been the 2023 U.S. Open that he lost.
Dude, I mean, this is another completely random note. Randomly, the 2021 Australian Open between Denis and Sinner was on TV, and I watched it, and Denis won in 5 sets.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was such an epic match. That's just a random side note.
That was epic, and they were showing that before the Sinner Shapovalov match.
Yeah,
You're like, it's almost crazy to believe that, but I remember that match, and that was when Sinner wasn't Sinner yet.
right.
But he was definitely like dangerous. He was kind of like the Fonseca. He was like Fonseca at that point. Like he was super on the come up.
Right.
And I remember Denis being like, "Oh, that was a good win because that's super dangerous."
Which also cracked me up before Felix's match against Sinner. They asked him on the court, like, you do lead the head-to-head versus Sinner, and kind of like leading the question in that way.
Yeah.
And his answer, he just kind of laughs. He's like, oh, different players now and then, or the then and now. Like it's a completely different match. Like I think I got some of those wins maybe a little bit earlier than what people may think.
I know, kind of a dumb question. Like, or but I mean, people got to bring it up. They just like Google it, and then they're like, "Hey." But Sinner, yeah, he lost to Zverev at the 2023 U.S. Open. So he beat Wawrinka in the third round, lost in the fourth round to Zverev, which that I think kind of kickstarted Sinner's hardcore dominance because the rest of that fall he played really good, and then he beat Djokovic at the tour finals.
Yeah.
And then he beat him like also like in Shanghai or something like that, or Beijing maybe. And then 2024 Australian Open, I predicted him to beat Djokovic in the quarters or semis, wherever they played, and he did. And then it was like, and then he won the tournament. And then it was like, okay, now Sinner is on hard court. So that kind of started his run. But that's an insanely long time. 2023 U.S. Open is the last time Sinner lost a match on hard court.
So many matches. And then this is a little bit of U.S. Open history that I have on Chat GPT. It says, and I don't know if I don't really know how many service games he lost versus Sinner, but this is it right here. Alcaraz lost just 3 service games across the entire U.S. Open, the fewest by any champion in New York since the records began in 1991. Only Pete Sampras did better at Wimbledon, 2 service games lost. He faced only 10 break points in the whole tournament, the fewest for a Grand Slam winner since 1991. Again, only bettered by Sampras in 1993 U.S. Open campaign.
Yeah, that's crazy. The serve from Alcaraz, he was like serve botting at the U.S. Open essentially.
Serve botting, dude.
I looked it up before the final. Every match he had he won more than 80% of his first serves, including against Djokovic. 84% of his first serves he won, which is an insanely high number versus Djokovic. And then in the final as well, I believe it was 83% versus Sinner, which those numbers are just way too high if you're Sinner or Djokovic, but it shows how good that Alcaraz was serving and playing behind it and just cooking in general.
Right. And I think we were talking about it before too. in Sinner's post-match press conference, him
Mm,
talking about how he felt he needed to get better at being unpredictable, and then
mm,
that's one of Carlos's strengths. I feel like that is the number one difference between them. And Nadal kind of said something similar before the match. He was just saying Alcaraz has the ability to create more magic than any other player on tour,
mm.
and when he's creating the magic, you can't stop him.
Like,
And so I feel like what Sinner is talking about is he needs to create more what we see as magic.
yeah.
May like look unpredictable, but it is just insane shot making. And I worry about that for him because I do think it is a personality thing too.
Mm. Yeah, I wonder because wait, so Nadal said that before the match?
Nadal said about Alcaraz is like
Love it.
magic.
Love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's right. It's almost when he's creating the magic, you get caught in the spell. Like you're all of a sudden you're just now at the Alcaraz show, and you're like,
Right.
wait, I'm playing him. I'm supposed to be like trying to beat him, and everyone's just cheering him on. But Sinner, I know you mean with the personality, but I feel like he's kind of become that way over time. Like Coach Connor Casey on the show said, winning is boring. Like being number one is boring. It's just the same
Yeah.
thing over and over. But I remember when Sinner was coming up, he was in the next gen finals
Yeah.
in like 2019. He was playing Demon Hour, like cooking him. As
Crazy
like
finals.
yeah, as like an 18-year-old or whatever. And he was hitting this like Alcaraz did it like 3 or 4 times yesterday. The fake drop shot, slice long. It's the most
Right.
gangster shot in tennis. It's almost like I don't respect you as the opponent.
Yeah.
And but I remember Sinner doing that to Demon Hour, and I was like, okay, this guy's got it. And he had the crazy baseline strokes, but he would just running down a little bit more. It seemed like, and he would hit
Right.
those shots. So I think he has it in him,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff has happened since then, right? He's become the big money man.
Right.
He's become number one in the world. So obviously what he's done has worked, but being number one
Yeah.
in the world's like not enough for him anymore. He needs to figure out Alcaraz because he has an Alcaraz problem.
And honestly, it is kind of I mean, I loved it. The fact that he was saying, and maybe if that means losing more matches along the way,
Mm,
then so be it. To me, it's if you're a competitor in any sport, clip that and understand that one of the best athletes in the world is basically saying, I've got to fail to reach my next level.
yeah.
Because that's a hard ego thing to take of he could easily wipe everybody on tour
Mm,
except Alcaraz for the rest of his career and just keep doing what he's doing. But the fact you're willing to lose to guys that you know are not as good as you, take some losses, take some cuts in the paycheck, like it says everything you need to know about him as a competitor,
yeah.
and which on the flip side makes me believe that he can accomplish becoming more unpredictable because he can do all the fun shots. He's talented enough to make any shot in the world on the court.
Mm,
It's just about and we want to. Everybody is drawn to Alcaraz because he's smiling. He looks like he's having fun out there.
yeah.
Sinner doesn't look like he's having as much fun,
Right.
but it's internally can Sinner have fun being on the court, trying crazy shots, hitting cool things. Because even Sinner, whenever he hits an awesome shot, he does like he gives that little grin back
Mm,
to his box, and it's like
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where you want to grab. Like, dude, you're having fun. Like, enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, and you could tell you see him running around like that was actually pretty funny before the match, running around in the locker room like shaking, like
Yeah,
almost rolling his ankle. Like, I, he's just a more reserved guy. Doesn't mean he's not fun, but
exactly.
what was I gonna say? Like, oh yeah, like I was thinking about this during the final. The more you'll see players go up and down with their aggression, the more aggressive you are, the more unforced errors you're gonna have. It's
Right.
just like the more winners you're gonna hit, the more unforced errors you're gonna hit as well. So some people aren't okay with hitting unforced errors. So
Yeah.
they have both be lower and then they lose. Like we were talking about with Felix, they can lose to anyone.
Right.
Like Federer, you saw that his whole career. He always would hit way more unforced errors than
Yeah.
his opponent. But when he was playing his best, like no one could beat him.
Right.
Like his offense was at the best would be anyone's defense. You see it with Alcaraz. The crazy thing is Alcaraz had like an insane amount of winners and only like he had like twice as many winners yesterday as unforced errors. So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
He
But
was a different kind of locked in.
yeah, exactly. But that's what if Sinner's I think gonna be trying to go. It's not just to hit winners, but to just be more unpredictable, like you said, and use more creativity in his game.
I
And yeah, like the more like you saw him coming in net, like at Wimbledon
Yeah.
he came to net a lot and won a lot. the more you come to net, the more you're going to get passed, and no one likes getting passed at the net.
Right.
So, but again, if you come to the net a lot, like a lot of their stats, you'll see them winning like 60, 70, 80% of their net points. Well, like Federer said, you only have to win 55% of your points to win. So
Right.
you just come to the net all game long, you lose 40% of those points, you're going to be crushing. So,
dude, and it was just whenever Alcaraz was coming to the net yesterday, it was making Sinner uncomfortable, and he was having unforced errors. It's like Alcaraz wasn't even in the greatest position when he's coming to net, but he's up there, and Sinner's thinking about it just for a half second, and then he hits it into the net, and it's like,
yeah, they did show that one part where if Alcaraz was on the baseline and he kind of like stuttered like he was coming in at a really big point, and then Sinner kind of pressed it wide because he's not sure what Alcaraz is going to do, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, I think you're right, because Federer is like a good example, I feel like, for Sinner, where, I mean, Federer shot making, he's hitting any kind of shot. It's always magic. He could hit a behind the back, but it's also like a smooth killer. Similar to Sinner, where like Alcaraz is running around having the best time of his life like a kid. Federer is running around doing the same exact shots, but not as animated.
Yeah, like essentially never
do that exact thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Federer was locked in. He didn't smile that much. He hit creative shots, and it wasn't just creative for the hey, I want to be an artist. It was like, I have every shot in the bag, and I'm keeping my opponent like scared because I'm the most aggressive downhill player.
Right. It's a message like, hey, I'm gonna hit this shot because I know you are not gonna go for this shot, and I want to break your will with this backhand, overhand, slam, behind the back shot, whatever it may be. I want you to know I'm better than you in all aspects.
Yeah, and I'm willing to get past the net. I'm willing to miss shots because we're playing this match on my terms, not yours.
Right.
And that's what the elite level of tennis is so much about. Djokovic would do like the opposite of that. He would be like, we're playing this match on my terms because you can't put the ball past me.
Right.
And we're making this physical.
Yeah.
I'm taking you to deep water.
What do you have to make of Djokovic in the tournament?
Yeah. Another super impressive tournament for a guy who now essentially just plays majors. He's like an amateur tennis player.
4 in the world, all good.
Yeah. Djokovic's ranking this week up to number 4 in the world. He played some other tournaments, he lost like 4 tournaments in a row in the first round or something after Australia, I think. So he's doesn't have much points from this year from anything outside of the majors. Semis in Australia, semis at the French, semis at Wimbledon, semis at the US Open. 38 years old. He played as well as he could. I think his comments after the US Open were pretty legit.
Right.
And I wonder, like, what do you think of them? Because he's essentially saying, I don't know if I can get these 2 guys in 5 sets anymore.
I mean, he knows. It's like, because in the Alcaraz match, when he went up a break in that second set, or whatever it was, it was like, he knows immediately once Alcaraz gets that break back, it's over. And so he's got to play a perfect match to even really, if he has to play a perfect match, and they have to play I don't want to say a bad match, but like maybe like an average match, and that would be his only shot. But they don't do that.
Yeah, and the last time they did that was at, to be fair, the Australian Open. Djokovic did beat Alcaraz in the quarters,
right?
And that was an example of like, I think Djokovic, or maybe Alcaraz won the first set there, but let me just check quickly. Alcaraz did win the first set, but then Djokovic got the second set, and then that's a quicker surface. So then he won the third, and then he won the fourth.
Right.
Like, Djokovic will have to keep the sets close, and he cannot go down 2 sets to love.
Yeah.
And I really think going forward, it's like you got to win the first set, and then the second set.
Have to win the first set.
Yeah, because it's James Blake put it right. Like, you play this 42-minute first set, it's tight, and then you lose it. You're literally back to square one. Like, you still have to win 3 more sets now. It's
Djokovic knows better than anybody, like, when a match is probably over.
Yeah, for sure. Because he was the one for the last 20 years turning the screws on people. It's like you play a tight first set with Djokovic, so
Right.
exhausting, and you lose. Okay, now I got to win 3 more sets. Like, yeah,
I know. So yeah, I guess to his press conference, it it made sense a little bit because he's an ultra competitor and he loves being out there. He loves making it. He believes that he could win any tournament like outside of a Grand Slam. He
yeah,
believes, okay, I have a shot at beating them in the best 2 out of 3. But I guess honestly, like the depth of the love surprised me. The fact he's like, I'm going to keep going for it. I want to keep competing in the Grand Slams. I was a little bit shocked. I didn't know if I kind of thought he was going to start to pull away
mm,
from talking about next year or whatever it is. Not that I thought he would retire,
right.
but I thought he would be more of a, yeah, I'm going to go talk with my family and I'll be at the Australian Open next year. Like I plan to play, but I'm going to talk with my team and everybody about,
Mm,
what's the right plan going forward. So it was cool. As a Djokovic fan, I liked hearing it that he'll be
yeah.
back because it's the same thing as me with LeBron or somebody like guys they're out of their prime. There's 1% chance they'll win a Grand Slam again, win a NBA Finals, whatever it is. But there's like part of you that's like, man, if on their very best day, they could do it.
Well, both of those guys and Djokovic, his body is allowing him to still compete at
Right.
a high level. Like Federer, Nadal, like their bodies weren't just
Yeah.
like literally weren't allowing them. And Federer's like, I'm not gonna be out here getting bagelled by Hubert Hurkacz at Wimbledon, like
Right.
on one knee. I'm just not doing that. And but Djokovic is 38, so he's just not as young. He just literally he's super in shape. He just I don't know,
Yeah.
his body just becomes less in shape as you get older compared
Right.
to a 24-year-old like Alcaraz. But he's still able to beat Fritz. Like Fritz is
Right.
the next
Like
like it looked like fairly like
he's arguably the third most in shape player on tour.
exactly. So you're like so if you Djokovic, my theory was like, well, he's completed tennis. He's
Right.
put together the greatest career in the history of the game. Why would if you're still able and you got you can fly your family around as much as you want,
Right.
why wouldn't you just keep playing just the big tournaments, having fun
Yeah, exactly.
while you
Which
can? Once it's over, it's over. You're never doing it again. So
right. And he knows that too. And it's cool. I'm glad because in his interview that he did with Jay Shetty, I've always curious to hear athletes when they get asked this
yeah,
about their records.
mm,
And he was like, obviously, a little bit of this is fluffed up because everybody cares about their records, no
yeah,
matter what they say.
yeah,
But he's like, honestly, I hope every single one of my records gets broken because I love tennis and I
mm,
love the game of tennis. And I want to see it reach way further heights than whatever me, Federer, Nadal pushed it to.
mm.
And there's other guys out there that are like publicly out of, I don't want anybody touching this record. I'm sick when if an NFL quarterback like Tom Brady, he don't want somebody to touch those records. He's never saying, I hope Pat Mahomes wins 7.
I don't think Tom Brady and Djokovic are on the same level as athletes globally.
Yeah.
I think Djokovic is higher,
Athletically,
just
100%.
just athletically, but no, that's someone was saying it in I think Patrick or John McEnroe was saying it about the advances of string technology, racket technology, and what Carlos and Alcaraz grew up playing with. So they grew up with these modern rackets from like when they were like 8 years old. So they're playing with them like their whole career. And literally like Federer, but also Djokovic when he started, like Djokovic and Murray when they started, the rackets were not at the level that they are now as far as
Right.
technology. And for most of their careers, they actually used rackets that were like created in like the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't even know that, but so it's not like Alcaraz and Sinner are better than the big three. It's that they're playing with like literally newer technology, and that's allowing the game to be played at a faster pace.
Right.
So I actually do think that their rallies are crazier than the big three rallies,
Yeah.
and they're faster than it. Doesn't mean that they're better or that they'll have more, successful careers because that's still a long way off.
Right.
But these two guys are all-time players, obviously, and they're probably playing tennis at the highest level we've ever seen, just
Yeah.
based on the technology. But
Dude.
and that's I think what Djokovic means. Like it's an
Right.
advancement. Yeah.
That's what I would love to see though. If if you could create the hypothetical it's like I would love to see the 20. I mean, gosh, Alcaraz is. I always it's whenever I say his age, I'm always like, oh my gosh, wait, he's
Yeah.
he's 22. Like he is doing all of these things before anybody else was doing them. But it's like to me is like, man, the fact that Djokovic, I mean, he lost in 3 sets, but he beat him last year in the Olympics on clay. And I'm like, does a 37-year-old, like if a 37-year-old is beating the 21-year-old Alcaraz, like
Yeah.
what about the 28-year-old Djokovic? Like, is he absolutely running it right now over Sinner and Alcaraz? Or I mean, you'll never know, but that's what I
Yeah.
think about when I'm watching him, because I'm like, like certain matches he's hung around from age 36 to 37. He's in these matches,
Yeah.
but they're also like Alcaraz
And
is
if
21.
28-year-old Djokovic had the kind of, I mean, they're not, the rackets aren't that crazy different. I think the bigger thing is like Alcaraz and Sinner have grown up playing like from like 5 years
Yeah,
old with this technology, so they like know how these things work at
right.
a different level. They're like the rackets weren't changing throughout their career like it was for the big three,
Yeah,
and then yeah, and then I mean, I think it's always the age thing is weird because if I can talk about my guy for a second, like people were praising Djokovic for at 38 playing with a 22-year-old, which is like definitely insane.
right.
In the Wimbledon 2019 final, Federer was 38 playing Djokovic, who was like 32, which is like still your prime.
Yeah,
And Federer outplayed Djokovic that entire final. Djokovic won it, but like even Djokovic admitted like he was probably the better player. I just won 3 of the
yeah,
tiebreakers. So like but in general at that time, Djokovic was definitely at a higher level than Federer. But you know, class and skill never goes away, and like
right,
match to match, right? Like maybe like Djokovic probably didn't have his highest level at the 2019 final.
right.
Um,
And I bet that 2019 final lives in his head as he goes into these Grand Slams, because he's like, man, Federer was playing at such an elite level.
yeah,
He's like, why can't I just create that magic one more time?
yeah, and it's
Because
and
Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner exist, unfortunately.
yeah, because they're yeah, like they're again playing at maybe a higher level than
Yeah.
ever, and it's like so physical. So
Yeah.
like that's even Federer at Wimbledon 2019. The courts I think were faster than still at Wimbledon, but Federer short. Like you watch that match, the points were all short. And
Right.
Federer's like serving insane. Like literally, I think he hit probably like 20 plus aces at least, and
Yeah.
Djokovic couldn't really make it that physical. But it's hard. And Djokovic is doing, the older he gets, he serving better and better, better. And a lot of guys can't make it physical.
Yeah.
He can stop it from being physical, but he can't really stop it from being physical against these two guys. So
It's crazy.
it is crazy. We got to talk about Anisimova Sabalenka.
For sure. First back-to-back champion since Serena Williams. And I guess Serena
Crazy.
Williams, she won 2012 to 2014. But
Wow.
we still haven't seen that back-to-back on the men's side in a while.
That's right.
But yeah, man, Sabalenka, it was it was great to see Anisimova beat Swiatek, because everybody was cooking her after
Mm-hmm.
Wimbledon.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to put an end to it. She had to put an end to it on the hard courts in the home country, despite her last name. Yes, she is American.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we are claiming her. Of course, we have to. The flag is by her.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I bet I never really looked at the odds, but I would guarantee you that 80% of the people were picking Swiatek in that match.
Yeah, probably. Probably, but that because Anisimova she avenged Swiatek, which was insane. I didn't get to see that match.
Yeah.
Then she beat Osaka. And
Yeah.
maybe I just haven't watched enough Amanda Anisimova, but like her brand of tennis with those shots is so exciting. Like her
Right.
ability to hit winners from kind of any position. You can see how she can go get bageled in the final of a Wimbledon final when her game's not working, because she just goes for shots. And when she is hitting the winners, you're like, that was a low percentage shot.
Right.
And then you're like, but okay, she just did it for 2 sets straight. And now it's over. But it is like box office. So she's She's awesome. And yeah, Sabalenka is just, I think she's too good to like not win a major in a year.
Exactly. It was kind of you get to the last major, she hasn't won one. She's been close every single time. There's no shot that you don't get a lion tattooed on you if you're not gonna win one major every year. And
And
so
how iconic was her sitting down? She's just so funny. Such a good character in sports, like sitting out with the Moe sunglasses or ski goggles.
yeah, she is. I mean, thank God we have Sabalenka on tour.
Yeah. Being number one. And because I love it how she have like Alcaraz, she had a few championship points that she like squandered. I think she like
Yeah.
missed an overhead smash on her first championship point. She kind
Dude,
of just like laughed to her box, like,
like, are you serious?
we're
Is
not
it,
doing this.
but I feel like that's the sign too of like
Oh yeah.
the ultimate champions.
Yeah.
Of like in that moment, that could break, 70% of other players. But for people like her and Alcaraz, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, of course, now, oh man, now I have to win it on the next one.
Yeah,
Or now
because what
I
did
have to do it on
Alcaraz
the
do
second
too?
serve.
Alcaraz kind of did the same thing. And that I mean, if you could talk about the men's final, that did get a little funny for a
It
second
did.
there.
It didn't get all the way to deuce, or
Well, yeah, it was 40-15 and Alcaraz missed a shot in a little rally on 40-15, and then it was 40-30, and then Sinner just hits a return winner on the second serve, and you deuce. You're like, ooh, we've seen a 40-15
I
before.
know. Oh
You know,
man,
at Wimbledon, wasn't Federer's serve. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't Federer's serve.
yeah.
That's I'm getting traumatized thinking about that right now. And then, but yeah, you're thinking what Alcaraz, and then Alcaraz wins the next point, and just smiles and laughs to his team. I just knew he was winning the next point after that.
Yeah.
Ace.
Sabalenka's next biggest match will be against Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, what is that, and when is that happening?
I don't know when it is, but I just saw both interviews with them recently of them talking about it.
Yeah,
And Sabalenka says obviously she's going for the win, and Nick kind of laughing it off, and how yes, he's going to take it serious because it would be embarrassing if he lost. But he was talking with Bublik. He's like, but you think I'm really going to lose?
yeah, exactly. I was kind of like Kyrgios was very confident that he can win, and he's like, "You think I could lose?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like,
I know.
I, I know there was the whole classic thing with Serena Williams, like at their peak, getting destroyed
Right.
by this like outside the top 100 guy. So there is levels to the game, and I'm not saying they're the same, but Sabalenka is number one in the world, and her body's in shape, where
Right.
Nick can't play on the pro tour. So I don't know, Arena, just make it physical, make that boy run.
I know. I mean, I forget what Kyrgios said his prediction was. I think because they're doing it weird too, where like he has a smaller area to
Oh,
serve
really?
it into. There's like some different rules about it to not make it even, but
Right. I don't
try
really
to.
like that. I don't really like.
Yeah,
I wish they just had it full on.
hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's play straight up because I mean, I feel like if they play straight up, Kyrgios would win pretty quickly.
Well, that's the biggest thing I think is the serve. Like
Yeah,
Sabalenka is not facing a serve anywhere near that at all in the WTA
right.
tour. So, like, if he's like, even if he can't run around properly, like if he can just serve 135, like she's probably, I don't even know if she ever would have received a serve 135.
Right. And to
So,
me, it's even more like the second and third shots. Like the men just move it around so much,
mm,
but you see them freaking sliding on hardcore every single point, and it could be a 20-point rally. The
right.
women's rallies are more like no one's like going and getting multiple balls in a row that are like insanely hit shots.
Yeah, yeah. The movement that the men have is what separates them. I would say the main, because like Sabalenka's backhand speeds were actually like higher than Alcaraz and Sinner's or something. And
Yeah.
the reason for that is because she hits every single backhand like a topspin and with power. They're
Right.
like slicing or they're like positioning the ball around the court.
Yeah.
But their movement, like like Alcaraz is like they're so much faster and more
Right.
flexible. But Kyrgios isn't. like,
Right.
like
It
Kyrgios
would be
made move.
interesting to see. I mean,
Like, yeah, so
trust me, I would if Sabalenka won. I mean, I won't be mad.
battle of the sexes. People are like it's not sexist. It's like gym. It's like when you're in grade 6 or whatever. It's like boys versus girls. Like
Right.
that's what I'm about. Like curious, you gotta like win it for us.
Because to put it out there to the people, one time in middle school, we rallied around maybe our 6 best guys at volleyball, and we were competing with the middle school girls volleyball team. Did we win in gym class? I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but history tilts to the side of the men in that situation.
Yeah, and then the next question is, you are playing volleyball, so it's like, that's another question there. Like, why are you playing volleyball?
Oh, whoa, don't hate on volleyball now.
I'm just kidding. I don't hate on volleyball, but because I went to a school in the prairies, prairie people, maybe Midwest people love volleyball.
Yeah, Midwest people are all about it.
It is a sick sport, and it's not actually not very feminine. If it's like, men can play volleyball, not really.
Bro, men's indoor volleyball is insane. It's pretty much just a bunch of like failed basketball players that can jump out of the gym, and it's honestly a dangerous sport. People don't talk about how dangerous volleyball is enough.
It's fun to watch live. Like, you're like, these guys are just like,
I know. He
like
all 6'7". I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I got to be rolling here soon. So should we hit the comments?
Yes, sir. Let's do that. We only got 4 from the last one.
Thank God. Not thank God, but I only say thank God because I got to roll soon.
Yes, sir. No,
we need more comments to the people listening.
That's right. We need more comments on our videos. We've got the first one here I got is Daturanoxia. Says, I think he always starts he starts every comment with Sinner Maniac. The shoelaces were broken and it was visible when the camera made a close shot. He's saying that to when Sinner switched his shoes versus Shapovalov.
Yeah. Good deal. I didn't see the camera angle, so
JP will hate. Don't worry.
Yeah. Actually, show me proof. DM me that photo.
Yeah.
Next one. Oh boy. Al 1976 B7M.
Careful.
Yeah, that was the oh boy, I was nervous about that one. He says, in German we have the noun Erziehung, which stands for how you have been brought up and the values and manners you've been taught by your parents. You probably translate it more accurately as upbringing, but for lack of a deeper English vocabulary, most people just translate it as education. I think that's what Penko and Haichinov meant. Penko may be a bit of a sore loser, but I don't think she has a problem with black people. Remember, she likes Lil Wayne and wants to meet him. Winky face. That's a good little tip, European tip.
That is a good little tip. I think that's kind of what we thought in the last video. Sinner Maniac says, or Dataraxinoxia says, Sinner Maniac, I agree it wasn't racism in the Ostapenko incident. Stop throwing racism card every time. If Ostapenko did this to another player, especially not American, you would all just laugh about it.
I think I actually love Sinner Maniac.
That has nothing to. I love how Sinner has nothing to do with this comment, and he gets to start it. It's like his recital at the beginning.
But that's the fandom we need.
Yes.
And then this is my favorite comment, last but not least. 2 white guys say that was not racism. Really? This emoji. Yes, really.
We can't have an opinion on it unless that might be racist.
Right.
Yeah. You can't have an opinion
because we don't want to throw that out there at people.
Yeah.
But that's a standard comment in this type of scenario.
Yep. And everyone's allowed to comment your own thoughts, but we've just done that for the last 53 minutes, 33 seconds, I think, extensively covering the men's and women's final US Open. Great tournament. Could have been an email, and maybe to the semifinals.
Could have been an email.
But the best, we had blockbuster semifinals, blockbuster quarterfinals. We had great matchups, great players. Sabalenka, Carlos Alcaraz wins. Shout out to them and their fan bases. I'm sure you guys are still just waking up, or maybe you're still partying from last night. I don't know.
A lot of champagne was being thrown around. Sabalenka and Alcaraz. Talk about a championship duo to party.
Do you think, over and under, do you think they have gone to bed yet, or are they still going?
In New York, no shot. They didn't go to sleep. They're probably both about to go to brunch in like an hour or two.
With the Moe ski goggles on, both of them.
God, I love the ski goggles.
That'd be so iconic.
But good deal, man. Thank you guys for listening, checking it out. Make sure to leave a comment if you want to be featured in the next episode. Subscribe. And tennis season is not over. Just because the Grand Slams are over does not mean the season is over.
Right.
We got Laver Cup. We got Rolex Paris Masters. We got all the Asian swing. We got it all. So stay tuned. We will be bringing you the news and the headlines and everything else. So appreciate you guys and see you next week.
See ya.